Man, longest and strongest. Mm. Be Monday, NFC community. I am Julian Virgin. That is David Oblas. This is NFC Now. Show number 17. Again, we are coming to you on this Monday ahead of NFC Fight Night 153. We're officially in fight week. Really excited to be here. We have an amazing show planned for everybody. We got super dope guests, starting with our guy Jesse Wable. We got Zach Cooper, David Baby Hulk Wilson, Walter Flores, and our guy Addison Graves. But we cannot do anything without checking in with the CEO, lead promoter of the NFC, David Oblas. What's up, Obleasy?
Man, we took a week off, so it's been 2 weeks. I guess it's like riding a bike, but I've already noticed you messed up two things. You messed up the arrow, and you said NFC 153. It's NFC 152.
It is one. It is
making me one show older right now.
My bad. Let me stick. Yeah, I am messing up a little bit. Again, we're gonna get on this thing the right way. NFC 152.
I do the same thing as you. I keep notes. Well, shit,
I got mine written down right here, man. We're prepared. At least we're prepared, man. Might have screwed that up, but yeah.
Just wing it. We don't just wing it. It just doesn't come together. This is a nationally syndicated podcast.
Let all the haters know that we are here each and every Monday, giving the people what they want. Again, this is NFC 152 fight week. We're going to be throwing down this Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Brewery Garage. Y'all definitely make sure that you have it typed in the right way when you type it in on your maps. But yeah, this Friday is going down. First show of the year for the NFC in Georgia and Atlanta. Definitely have some exciting things going on, Dave. How you feeling?
Good. I mean, it's the first time we've sold out an event 8 days ahead of time and in a number of years. So it feels good that this week I can just do a lot of paperwork and write all the commission checks without having to make 9,000 posts about, tickets still on sale, only 2 tables left, 4 tables left, 8 cage side seats. So it's definitely a hell of a feeling. It's and I think that's a good thing about taking December off. It gives people time to regroup. They haven't been to fight in a little while, and ends up being better for our January show every year.
Yeah. So do you think it is just the excitement of like us not being offered? Do you think it's something else that is just attributed to tickets being sold out 8 days in advance?
I don't know. I think it's definitely a good fight card. I think Monday Night Brewing is all ages, so I think that helps with it. Monday Night Brewing is a beautiful venue, but all the venues we use are absolutely beautiful. But yes, I think it does have to do with taking December off, and people haven't seen a fight night in 6 weeks since our last one in November. I think it was the Jesse Wable Amateur Series at Tannery Row in mid-November. So I think having 8 weeks off through the holidays, I think definitely benefits us and gives us all time away from each other. I think through the year we all get burned out of each other at all the fight nights, all the stress, all the commotion. So it gives all of our staff a little bit of time off also.
No time off here on the pod. We did take last week off nonetheless. David, would you explain?
Yeah, so last weekend we had the Dothan Fight Night. So I was in Dothan, Alabama, Thursday through Saturday. We're actually Thursday through Sunday morning doing that. Came back Sunday and got the call Monday at 6 a.m. that my mom sprained her ankle. She had fallen out of her bed Sunday at 11 p.m. going to the bathroom and laid on the floor till 6 a.m. Monday morning because she didn't want to bother my brother or me. So she laid on the floor in pain with a huge swollen ankle till 6 a.m. Called my brother. He basically couldn't get her out of bed because she was freaked out that neither of her legs were working. So my brother ended up calling the ambulance. They took her away. I followed them at that point to the hospital and diagnosed with a severely sprained ankle. We took her to Dr. Traub's after that to get fitted for a splint. She has her 1 week checkup tomorrow with Dr. Traub, actually. Fight doctor, Dr. Traub.
Shout out to Dr. Traub.
He's done surgery on everyone in my family, including me. But yeah, so now a week later, she's finally walking around. I actually stayed with her all last week. I stayed with her from Monday morning all the way till what did it say, Monday. So I came home yesterday afternoon. So it was about 6 days staying with her in her condo and just helping her out and stuff like that. So unfortunately, I could not do the podcast. I failed our NFC Now viewers.
Nah, look, it's family first, man. We all know this, and you are a part of our family. So the NFC community is behind. Is it Miss Oblas, Miss Oblizi?
Miss Oblizi.
Miss
I don't think she's ever
Oblizi.
been called that, but she is now.
Hey, yeah. When I see Miss Oblizi, I'm gonna say, "Hey, Miss Oblizi," and we're gonna make sure we show Miss Oblas some love in her recovery on her severely sprayed ankle. It's all good. We are back because our show is packed, jam packed. As we preview NFC 152 this Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Brewery, where we have 3 titles up for grabs: our bantamweight title, our welterweight title, and our lightweight title. All really great fights, and a lot of really dope fight news just dropped yesterday too. I see Jesse was just clicking them off. We'll have Jesse on in a couple of seconds. But before we get Jesse up there, man, I gotta get an update about our voting for the banquets. What is the voting looking like?
I know it's over 3,500 votes so far. I have not looked at who's in the lead or whatnot. I just haven't looked at them. It's over 3,500 votes. It's killing it. It ends this, I think, Saturday. I'll notify all the winners Sunday or Monday. I usually what I do is I email all the winners to say, congratulations, you won. Here's the banquet. Come on out. And obviously, as we've talked, dress nice for this one. The losers, if you lose, you don't get an email from me, unfortunately. Just if you don't get an email a couple days next Sunday or Monday, I apologize. But
I feel like fighters can't keep a secret, so this is not like a secret. When you email them, they immediately come out and be like, "Hey, I won," right?
And I think we used to keep it a secret years ago. We used to actually say, "Hey, please don't tell anyone you won. We want to keep it open that way no one knows." And then we had people that did not win an award come to the banquet. And they'd actually get mad at me and they'd say, why the hell did you drag me down to this awards banquet if I'm not winning? And I said, well, you were up for a nomination. I just never told you if you won or not. So now we've told people, hey, when you get the email from me, congratulations, you won. Feel free to share this on your Facebook or Instagram. Encourage your friends and family to come to the banquet. Because I think it's actually, it kind of works both ways. I think it's important that the people that do win know that they can bring their family and friends and gym mates out to support them and take photos and watch them give their speech and stuff like that.
That's real. Nah, I can see it both ways. I mean, I guess fighters are just ultra competitive. It's like, don't drag me out nowhere. And I'm sitting here and I'm kind of just sitting on my hands. But at the same time, I think it is dope that you are honored. Again, I haven't been to an NFC award ceremony, so I don't know if the nominations are all put up there so everybody can name can actually be said, or is it just kind of like we just have a winner and we just keep it pushing?
We just give the winners. We let them all give a speech. We give them all a plaque. Did you not come last year?
Man, I was like, it was my aunt's baby shower.
Okay, I remember Jen Lee was
Family Matters
filming.
Jen Lee pulled up, but I was at my aunt's baby shower, man. You know how to be there. Beautiful baby girl. My niece London is now officially here. She's thriving. She's getting older, but yeah, it was a family baby shower. We had to make that, man. It was important.
I still need to talk to you that you're going to be one of the main speakers at the banquet. So we'll talk off air about that. We usually have one main speaker, which you're the best speaker we have. So you're going to be the main chaperone of the banquet. And then myself, Charlene, Jesse, we have someone for jiu-jitsu. We kind of rotate in and out of the awards. We'll put the awards between all of us, Kimberly, and whatever awards you feel strongly about that you want to give out to people. Click your name on the spreadsheet, put your name next to it, and we kind of run down the list on who wants to give out what. So
look forward to being there, man, and celebrating a great year of fights and fun in the National Fighting Championship. Again, we have our first fight of the year kicking off this Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Garage, where we're about to start a whole new set of memories. Again, 3 title fights. What, 15 fights on the docket?
Yeah, 16 fights.
16 fights on the docket, 3 title fights. Jam-packed night, all ages event, beer, fun. Some ladies will be out there, our ring girls. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a win. So
I don't know if you saw it last week, but at our Dothan fight night, Cam Graham, who's fought for us a couple times, big heavyweight.
Yes,
he actually we knew before his fight that he was going to propose to his girlfriend, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, he lost that fight to Peter New. We had them both on the podcast the week before, but yeah, after the fight, Cam Graham proposed to his girlfriend in the cage and got engaged. He said yes. So
that was a beautiful moment, and that's that. I think Jesse Wable put that up on the on the page.
Yeah, so I think that I think that's like our 4th proposal in the cage. I think Brandon Logano, and me and Jesse talked about it, so we can talk about it with him. I think there's Brandon Logano, Chaz Walton, Eric Bullock, and now Cam Graham. So we've had 4 people proposing the NFC cage, which is pretty cool because when you and I talk about family all the time, it's kind of cool that we talk about getting engaged.
Yeah, no, I think that's like actually really dope, and like the NFC is a part of that memory. Like that'll always be stamped. It's like, no, we got engaged at an NFC fight, and David Oblas is synonymous with the NFC. So shout out to you, shout out to Cam Graham and his fiance, and shout out to everybody who's tuned in right now to NFC Now podcast number 17. That's David Oblas. I'm Julian Virgin. Coming up, our first guest is our resident guest here on the NFC Now podcast, somebody who's dropping a whole lot of bombs yesterday during the football game. Our guy, Jesse Wable. Jesse, what's up, man? What, new year, new hair? What's up? Talk to me, bro. What's good?
Yeah, man. I go through these stages every year where I feel like growing my hair out, and then I get to that awkward phase, and I'm just like, nah, we got to get rid of it. So I got rid of it.
Did Kaysen or Tiffany help you do this?
Yeah, I had Tiffany help me with a little bit on the backside that I couldn't quite see, but yeah.
That's what's up, man. Well, happy Monday. Happy New Year as well. Thank you for joining us here on NFC Now. Before we get to all the really dope news that you were dropping yesterday and all the the breaking, it seemed like you were holding on to some bullets in the chamber before yesterday. We have a really big fight card coming up this Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Brewing. Now, we got 3 belts, the bantamweight, the welterweight, and the lightweight belts up for grabs, man. Could you just talk us through the fight card?
Yeah, man, I'm super pumped about this card. Like Dave was saying earlier, I don't remember the last time we've sold out this far in advance either. Maybe even before I was working for him. I don't think we've ever sold out a week ahead of time. Normally a couple of days before, but yeah, I was really surprised and happy to see that, we sold out 6 days ahead of time. That's awesome. But yeah, man, it's a really good fight card, of course, headlined by Zach Cooper and Walter Flores. Excited about that fight. Really excited. Both of those are very good fighters. They've both been around a long time, and they're both, well-rounded everywhere. Pumped about that one. But yeah, the 3 title fights. I'm really, really excited about the Kamiko Hall and Earl McKinney fight. Kamiko Hall has been messaging me every day, just is super pumped about the fight, asking me tons of questions, asking me about the venue, telling me he's, he wants to go ahead and sign up his next fight. He wants to go ahead and sign his pro debut. He's pumped for this fight. And Earl McKinney, like I said, 6-1, his only loss is to Malcolm Wellmaker, which there's no shame in losing to that guy. So, that's definitely one of the fights that I'm really, really excited about. And the other 2 title fights, Ronald Humphreys versus Xavier Horton. This is the first time Ronald has fought for the NFC. I'm super pumped that he's on the card. I wanted him to fight on a card for a while, but man, he's been hard to match up, because he's just so good. He's such a great fighter. And he's fighting Xavier Horton, who, is a character in the NFC community. A lot of people know him. A lot of people pay attention to Xavier. And I know a lot of people are going to have their eyeballs on that fight, so that's going to be a good one. And then let's see, the 3rd title fight, of course, can't forget Trace Harper versus Quincy Evans. Man, just have no idea how that fight's going to go. I definitely can't wait to see it. We're going to finally have a 155-pound champion at that weight class. It's either going to be Trace Harper or Quincy Evans, so can't wait for that one.
Now, I agree with you on that one. I definitely can't wait for that fight. The Ronald Humphrey fight, I'm actually really interested to see him compete because I haven't seen him compete. And obviously, Xavier Horton is the heel of the NFC. And I said that with all due respect. I don't know if he knows that. I don't know if he thinks that about himself. But I would say that Xavier Horton is like his top tier heel. Is that a thing that we're voting on? The heel of the NFC?
It might be for next year. We added best walkout from suggestions a couple weeks ago.
I think if we put that in there, like best heel, I think
and
that's
best baby face.
The best baby face. That's fair. The best baby face. I think.
Who's the best baby faces?
Baby face and heel. Baby face is the good guy. Heel's the bad guy.
Okay, I've never heard baby face.
I think we should have both because I think Reese Watkins would also be in the heel category as well. I saw them going back and forth. That's a whole tangent.
I don't know if Xavier is that bad of a heel. I think it's Reese that brings it out of him. Unless I don't think Xavier really talks junk to a lot of other people besides Reese.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I think Reese is the leader.
Reese might take the bet on that. We might need to do a special category when it comes to the thing. But we're talking about NFC 152 this Saturday. This Friday, rather.
That's right.
When it comes to Akeem Bashir, there was some breaking news that maybe he was out of an opponent. Did we find him an opponent?
We did. Jamal Johnson. I forgot exactly what the extent of the injury was, but he's out with an injury. But we have an opponent that Akeem was supposed to fight twice. So they were scheduled to fight originally a couple years ago. Justin backed out. Then they were rescheduled, and Akeem actually broke his ankle or busted his Achilles, something real bad to where he couldn't continue. So he backed out. This is the third time they've been scheduled to fight each other. As soon as I offered it to Justin, he said, let's go. He was ready to fight Akeem. They've actually been talking. When Akeem posted that he was fighting Jamal Johnson, Akeem actually sent me a screenshot from Justin Ortega, who's his new opponent, basically clowning him, saying he wanted to fuck him up. So as soon as Jamal backed out, that was the guy I went to. He signed immediately. So I'm glad that one's going down. It looks like a little bit of a grudge match.
Dave?
I was just following the conversation.
Nah, my bad.
I was looking at comments right
put
there.
the mic up. Dave and I was like, when Dave puts the mic up, I'm thinking he has something to say. Now,
I think I was putting the mic up because your dad made a comment. Dave, bring your audio up a tap. I don't think my audio goes up a tap. I don't have an IT department. I think I just need to.
No, sometimes you'll put your microphone down and it'll just make a little like sound from your mic, but it's all good. Now we have James Smith fighting DK Brewer. That should be a really fun fight. I know we had DK on the pod. I'm also seeing there's a lot of ATT Team Atlanta on this card. You got Jaylon McDaniel fighting Titus Moore. Is this his MMA debut?
So Jalen McDaniels fought for the NFC a couple times. He fought Trace Harper as an amateur. Super, super close fight. But Jalen actually picked up the victory. He was only 4-0, 3-0 or 4-0 as an amateur, I believe, and they turned him pro immediately for the PFL Challenger Series in Florida. 19 years old. He had only been fighting for less than a year. He was 4-0, 19 years old, made his debut at 18, and they turned him pro. You know, I'm not going to lie. I kind of thought it was a little too early. I like Jalen. Jalen's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's super, super talented, but dang, I kind of made that mistake turning pro at 19. Like I remember, like just kind of hold off a little bit, do more fights. But anyways, he made his pro debut, fought a tough guy, lost by decision. So this is going to be his second pro fight. And yeah, he's fighting Titus Moore out of, I believe, South Carolina, North Carolina, somewhere out of state. But Titus Moore had a really good amateur record and was winning his pro debut until he lost by disqualification, unfortunately. But yeah, that's going to be a great fight. But yeah, I'm glad to have some ATT Atlanta guys on the card. And DK Brewer and James Smith, I can't wait for that fight. That is a high-level Muay Thai fight. James Smith has fought for us a ton of times over the years. DK Brewer, of course, has fought for us a lot over the years, has had some tough fights. And both of those guys bring it. They're fighting at 170 pounds. Those boys are going to be looking lean, mean, and in shape. And that's definitely going to be a banger. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, I'm looking at James has 22 fights. DK has 9 fights. I mean, I don't want to say that could headline a Jesse Wable amateur series, but that fight would usually be getting a lot more chatter if it wasn't for the card that this is built around. I'm excited to see David Wilson, not only because he's only 5 feet tall, and I feel like Akeem Olajuwon next to him, but just looking at his videos of the street beefs, I don't think we pushed him enough last time he fought. So yeah, I'm interested a lot in David Wilson, Baby Hulk.
Yeah, I think he's got over 10 million views or something you said on YouTube from the street beefs. And his last fight. So this is actually a rematch. He's facing David Devant. He trains under Moose and Corbray at Champions Training Center. These guys fought back in September of 2022, and it ended in the first round in just a little over a minute. David Wilson got a takedown on Devant. As Devant was standing up, he was still down on one knee. David Wilson threw a knee to the face. There was a little bit of confusion with the doctor. They ended up stopping it and calling it a no contest. Both corners, both sides were really upset about it. They wanted to continue. I know David Devant sold a lot of tickets. David Wilson came here from South Carolina. So it was a bummer, definitely. But these guys are going to run it back Friday night. And yeah, I'm pumped about that one too.
And I'm not going to lie, I completely and utterly made up the 10 million views. I saw one video had 4 million, one had 2 million, one had 2 million. So I just came up with an even number when I posted on Facebook over 10 million views. So
ain't no rounding. Let's round up. We can round to the nearest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Maybe it's 20 million. I really don't know. I only looked
at 50 million
videos. Yeah. So we'll ask him. Maybe he can clarify it.
I look forward to talking to David. I mean, David Devont and David Wilson, because I know that hurt a lot. Because I did talk to Baby Hulk at weigh-ins, and he told me he was coming all the way from it was either South Carolina or North Carolina, which is like a 3 or 4 hour drive. And then you said Devant was coming all the way from Champions in Augusta, and for a fight to end in a minute, that has to suck. You know what I mean? It's like we done came all the way out here to do this, and it didn't go down. So definitely look forward to that rematch. I also see we got our guy Isan Mirzad on the card. I've seen him fight before. He's out of ATT Team Lima. I thought he was pretty impressive last time I saw him compete.
Yeah, he's fighting Austin Freeland, who's 2-0, and he actually has a win over Idel Gladney, which again was a super close fight. But if Austin wins both of these guys, this is going to be their last regular amateur fight. After this, they'll both be advanced amateur, which is awesome. We're going to have 2 new contenders in the 145-pound division, which I'm always trying to build these amateurs to get them 3 fights so that we have advanced amateurs. Because sometimes they're hard to come by. But yeah, that's going to be a great fight. Hassan is a badass. He trains under Brantley Furr and Diego Lima at Team Lima, and he brings it every time he fights. And what I like about him is he never questions any matchup I send to him. Let's do it. Let's go. Yes, sir. I want it. And that's what I like to hear from guys. And Austin Freeland, 2-0. He hasn't fought since that Idel Gladney fight. He's 2-0, looking to make his return. And yeah, that's going to be a good fight for sure.
16 jam-packed fights. There's no wrestling. We decided no intermission jiu-jitsu on this card.
Yeah, nothing like that. Probably no intermissions at all. Probably go straight through. But more importantly, I think people have noticed, but we're not on Flow Combat anymore. So this would be our first time on Fight. In my opinion, much bigger network. They do MMA, they do jiu-jitsu, they do pro wrestling, and they do pro boxing. So I think I haven't made it shy that the goal is for NFC to get into pro boxing this year. We worked with Boswell Promotions a little bit last year. So that might lead into a lot more things. Fight TV does a lot of pro boxing. They just did a Manny Pacquiao fight a couple months ago. So who knows? Maybe who knows if you see us do a ring in a cage one night like we did at Harley Davidson and Connors a few years ago. Who knows if we'll just use a ring one night and do go back to Wild Bill's The Hooters Ring, where we do MMA, kickboxing, and pro boxing in the ring. Or we'll just do standalone pro boxing events. I don't know. But the cool thing is now with Fight TV, we have the option to do so many more of those things. So it'll be fun.
Definitely excited about that transition to Fight TV. I'm just going to put this out there. I am not going to sit cage shot if there's only 3 ropes between me and them dudes that be on against them cages. Because sometimes when they'll hit the cage and the cage will jump back, and I'm like, whoa, it's a little too close. I don't know how y'all did it back in Wild Bills, but I'm more than confident somebody done fell up out that damn ring.
You got to have 5 ropes. B, a lot of people fell out.
Okay. See, Julian's not going to be cage shot if that's going to happen. Because look, that's going to be a long night at the office. You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, we have 16 jam-packed fights going on this Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Brewing Garage Brewing. Make sure you find the right location before you type it in your Maps app. Now, Jesse, you did a lot of name dropping for this upcoming card on March 10th at the Battery. Can we please just preview some of those fights?
Yeah, so the main event is going to be Mad Mike Wilson taking on Devontae Sewell. So I really wanted to get a good main event on this first card, at Sports and Social in Atlanta. I wanted Corey Jackson. You guys had him on the podcast a couple weeks ago. I really wanted Corey on the card. I wanted Corey versus Devontae. I really wanted that rematch. That was a close fight the first time they fought. There was a lot of controversy behind it. Unfortunately, Corey wasn't available. He's having a surgery, and he's not going to be available for a few months. Out of respect, so normally NFC champions, if you win the belt, you have a year to defend, or we kind of go ahead and vacate the belt and move on with 2 new opponents for the vacant belt. But, Corey's a good guy. He's always been really good to us. So I messaged Corey out of respect and just said, hey, man, look, are you okay with me kind of making an interim title? We've never done that before, but I want to do an interim title with Devontae Sewell versus Mike Wilson, with the winner guaranteed to fight against you later this year. He was down for it. He said, let's get it. That sounds good. So, yeah, that's going to be the main event. Mike Wilson versus Devontae Sewell for the NFC featherweight interim title. And like I said, either one of those versus Corey Jackson next, that's going to be a good time. So excited for that one.
Before we go on to the rest of it, with that fight, are we gonna play into it where Corey Jackson's gonna be cage side and we'll bring him in the cage? And are we gonna sell it like that, or like how we doing this, Dave?
Yeah, I think absolutely that's the goal. As long as he's in town to do that, hopefully he comes out with his belt. We strap the belt on Devontae or Mike, and absolutely get a pose off. Maybe a little speech on the microphone.
And Corey has already agreed to do to be a guest commentator for that fight. So he definitely wants to be cage side. He wants to go in the cage and face off versus the winner. So yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Because we in show business, right? We in the sales game. We in the promotions game. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the shot. So for the next promo, we already got the shot. Signed, sealed, delivered.
Then I think the fight we've all been looking for: Abraham Perez, 4-0 versus Chad Risley, 2-1. We've seen both of them do spectacular knockouts, and Abraham won the title belt a couple months ago up at the Wable Amateur Series. So that's a huge fight I'm looking forward to as well.
Yeah, I'm a huge Abraham Perez fan, man. He's quiet, like I said, not on social media a lot, but I've just seen him fight, and I knew his skill set. I've seen his fans come out, and not everybody's big on social media, but Abraham Perez is a really talented fighter, and he's going against Chad Risley, you know what I mean, out of ATT. As soon as he won that fight, he was messaging me the next day saying, Jesse, I want to fight Abraham. I want to fight Abraham. Give him to me. And it's going down March 10th, and I'm excited about it.
I'm a big Chad Risley fan. Him and his dad built a fence in my backyard. It hasn't fallen down yet. The tornado didn't take it out last week, so I'm Team Chad Risley for right now.
I ain't going to call what team I'm on, but I will say Abraham Perez's family from Mexico, they took care of your boy. So, I look forward to just the amount of fans that are going to be there. I can only just imagine just the crowds that are going to be at the Battery when the NFC makes their debut in the beautiful confines of the Battery. And is that Marietta or is that Smyrna? Well, I don't know how they get down with that, but it's somewhere in there.
The Braves called it Atlanta.
Cobb County, what I'm saying? In Cobb County, I see Dave got the hat on. Talk to me.
I had to make that Tony Hope versus Seth Haas fight for you. I know you called it. You kind of called it out. I know there's some fights that can be made, and I heard you, but there was just it's all about timing sometimes with everything. But that was definitely one fight I wanted to make for you specifically, and we got it done for March 10th. That's going to be probably fight of the night. I mean, they're all going to be good fights, but that's a guaranteed. There's no way that's not going to be a great fight. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
When I saw that, Jesse, it really made my heart warm, and I was like, "Yo, this is the one. Like that is the fight." And I can't wait for that because they're both. You can tell both of those guys they come to fight. They're not. There's Seth is what do they say? 40 gauge, 12 gauge. He's 12 gauge, and then Tony Hope is a killer himself. So that's going to be a great fight. I think that's also a promo-worthy fight to be covered, and we'll definitely have both of those guys here on the pod before. Is there any other fights? I saw you got Larry Green matched up.
Let's see. Nathan Rivera, owner of the quickest amateur knockout in 2022, making his return. I think he said he lives about 7-8 minutes away from the venue, and he's fighting Cody Ortiz at a Striker Fight Center. So definitely looking forward to that. I told Nathan, after a performance like that, I said, I'm going to get you on that card. So just, if you can stay tight, try to not book any fights for anybody else. I said, I promise you, I got you on that card. After a performance like that, you got to get him on the card. And but he's fighting a tough guy, Cody Ortiz, at a Striker Fight Center. He won his last fight for us for the NFC. He's a tough guy. He comes from a tough gym. And I was reading one of Nathan's posts. He said you can't get married to your wins and you can't get married to your losses. So and it's gonna be a tough fight. It's gonna be a good fight for both of them. So I'm excited for Nathan and I'm excited for Cody.
And looking at it, the cool thing is we also have Justin Jamar from Huntsville, Alabama.
Yes.
Who's 7-3, fighting Nima Changadze, who's 5-0. The cool thing is, what I say about going to new states and work with other promotions. Justin Jamar is from Huntsville, Alabama. I met him at weigh-ins in Dothan last week. He was wearing a bright orange sweater. It was easy to pick him out. Super nice and friendly guy. At the fight the next day, he's wearing the same orange sweater, so I was able to remember him. Very good marketing by him. Won his fight, and now he's on this card. He met Jesse that night. He met myself and Charlene, And we told him, he wanted to come to NFC. He's been saying he's watched us for years, just never worked out. So that was one of those cross promotion things with Impact Promotions in Dothan that now we've got Justin on the card. And there's probably more that'll come to our show now that we've had the opportunity to meet these Alabama and Florida guys.
And it gets fresh blood onto the cards too, man. It gets some fresh matchups because, again, one of my biggest gripes is everybody's training with everybody, and so nobody wants to fight each other. Now we have, some new blood, some new matchups to be made.
Yeah. And sometimes it's all about just speaking up. He came to me after his fight and was like, look, dude, I want to get on one of your cards bad. Please hit me up here. Can I go ahead and add you on Facebook right now? Let me go ahead and get your info. I want to stay in touch. And then he came back to me again later and again, like 2 more times. And by the end of the night, the fight card hadn't even ended. And I was already sending out matchups for him. Like, look, here, I'm offering him. Look, here you go. Check it out. And he was like, oh, man, thanks. I appreciate that. And within like 2 days, I already had him something. So, that was really cool. I like that guy. I'm excited to have him on the card.
And the funny thing, there's tons of guys at the weigh-ins that met me and like, oh, you're Mr. NFC, you're Obelus. How do I get on a card? And I was like, okay, come with that same energy tomorrow night because Wable will be here tomorrow. Add him on Facebook, meet him. Because I was like, I take care of all this bullshit. Jesse does all the matchmaking. I was like, if Jesse's car breaks down on the way or he blows a flat tire, I'm going to have to talk to all these guys, write their name and info in a notebook and do all this other stuff. So I was like, Jesse better make it or I'm in trouble with these guys.
Jesse does the best job of making these fights, man. He definitely has us excited for not only the March 10th card, but the January 20th card, which is coming up on this Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Brewing Garage. Tickets are all the way sold out. What is capacity?
We're at about 800, not including all the fighters, trainers, gym, stuff like that. So 800 with the fans, 100% sold out. I think it sold out last Friday, so 7-8 days in advance. So
we can't do any, so nothing can happen at the door. Everybody's getting turned back at the door.
I basically left it. When we do this sold out, I do it a little bit when we probably have 20 or 30 tickets left. That way, in case there's a fighter that his mom or dad forgot to buy tickets or his best friend or his husband or wife, whatever it is, I can get them in. But I kind of tell people if it's just fans, they need to watch it on Fight. They need to watch the stream. But this way we have 20 or 30 to sell just to family and stuff like that that I'd feel horrible if we can't get in.
And we do have a couple spots open. If anybody's looking to get in, we do need one more cage cleaner and about 3 to 4 more people to help take down the cage. So if anybody is interested in doing either of those, slide in my DMs, David's DMs, and we'll make it happen for you.
I might, if my little brother's not working, I might have to get his little tail on the job.
Yeah, bring him out, man. Bring him out
to work.
Yeah.
Outside of the fights that are going to be taking place on our NFC community Facebook group, I've been seeing some very polite call outs, some not so polite call outs. Where do you stand when you'll see a call out, Jesse, on Facebook, and how do you go about just navigating that?
I love when people call each other out. It makes my job easier. So yeah, if you guys want to fight somebody, that's what I created the NFC community for. You know what I mean? Use it. I love it.
Indeed.
I saw Reese Watkins on there earlier. We're trying to get Reese Watkins a pro debut fight. I know he's calling people out left and right. Who knows? Maybe the Xavier Horton fight this week. Maybe if Xavier wins, Xavier will be looking to go pro, and that's a fight we could make. I know that's definitely a fight that I hope we get to see one day. Xavier Horton versus Reese Watkins. So we'll see.
Indeed. Before we part ways today, Jesse Wable, my question for you is it's a would you rather question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Would you rather find a rat in your kitchen or a roach in your bed?
A rat in my kitchen.
Would you rather get knocked out by Francis Ngannou or ground and pound by Khabib?
Knocked out by Francis because it'd be quick.
I was thinking the same thing. Would you rather lose by DQ or by judge's decision, which is a robbery?
That's a tough one. I guess decision, robbery. That'd be fine. At least I could bitch about it.
Break your hand or your foot?
That's another tough one. I guess my hand. I guess so. At least I could walk. I've broken both.
In a fight. In a fight.
So I actually broke my foot in a fight. And here's a funny story. My dumbass didn't know back in the day that we could use fighter's insurance. So my first fight for Dave, I was 18 years old. I was young, dumb, straight out of high school. I actually broke my foot in a fight. Didn't realize it until the next day. Went to the doctor, was fractured. I paid for all that myself. Had no idea. So, that's things you learn throughout the days. But yeah, I guess I'd rather break my hand. Break my hand. That way I can at least walk around.
I think that was the same time you posted a photo of your check on Facebook that I wrote you. Maybe your pro debut. Maybe it was that night or a different night. I remember emailing you, and I was like, "Hey, would you mind shading out the amount? Because I don't like everyone to see what everyone gets paid."
Yeah.
And, I remember doing that. Now I got to tell guys to remove my account number and routing number because my check's been stolen. I think twice.
That's funny.
That's real talk, man. Jesse Wable, we appreciate you joining us, man. Before we part ways, man, you got any final thoughts?
Man, everybody, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, tickets are sold out, but catch the pay-per-view on Fight TV. This is going to be an awesome card to start off the year. We'll keep in touch. If any tickets get posted back online, just stay tuned to the NFC community. But hope y'all are ready for Friday night. It's going to be a fun one.
My very last question, is Tiffany putting the belt on anybody?
We'll have her put the belt on one person. I'll let her decide which one. It'll be a surprise, but yeah, she'll put the belt on one person.
Make sure y'all tune in for this, man. David brought it up. I thought it was a nice wrinkle. I know you were handling business. That's why she had to put the belt on, but I think it's a nice wrinkle. You know what I'm saying? It's a way to get Tiffany involved because she is a part of the NFC. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Jesse, thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you, guys.
Hold it down. Jesse Wable joining us here on NFC Now, show number 17. David, what's up?
Man, I want to see Walter and Baby Hulk in the portal. Walter's been shadow boxing for a couple minutes. I see him back there like he's about to kill Zach Cooper.
Let's get it. Let's go right to it.
Let's change it up a little bit. Before we bring him on, let's show his video, then bring him on.
Voila.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 5-minute rounds, we have a split decision. Judge A scores the contest, 30-27, Flores. Judge B scores the contest, 29-20, Kosher. And Judge C scores the contest, 29-28, for your winner by split decision, Walter Flores.
Woo! The emotions while reading the decision were what, Walter? What were you thinking as the decision was being read?
I mean, yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty nervous, dude. I was like, that's it. He's a hometown guy. It is what it is, I guess.
Indeed, but you got the victory.
You're both hometown guys. It was at Tanner Row in your backyard as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forget.
Yeah, and both crowds were really in it. I can't even lie. Both crowds were really in it. ATT showed up big time. SPG showed up big time. But big time, Walter Flores, main event Walter Flores is now showing up here on NFC Now. Thank you for joining us, man. Happy Monday. It is fight week. What are the emotions?
Oh man, just ready, dude. Just ready to go in there and perform.
Yeah, so when fight week comes around, I know you have a daughter, you have a wife at home, man. Like, does your energy switch up with this week, man? Do you turn into that animal before you're the week of the fight?
Maybe I when I'm working out, training and stuff, but when I'm at home, nah, I gotta do the dishes. I still gotta play daddy. Mom is boss at that moment once I walk in the door.
That's real talk, man. Got a big fight coming up against Zach Cooper this Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Garage, Monday Night Brewing. We interviewed you at ATT Team Lima a couple weeks ago, man. How did you feel when that video came out, man? You were able to see everything. What you think?
Oh yeah, man. The video was nice, dude. It's really good, man. I'm not gonna lie. The way everything got put together, I was like, all right, that's what's up.
Yeah, nah, man, definitely look good in it. And then you were very forthcoming. Like, look, Zach is looking to come take something away from me. I'm not going to allow him to do that. What are your thoughts on your opponent?
On Zach, I mean, I think he's a well-rounded fighter. He's been in there with everyone. And yeah, man, I mean, I feel like he has a good stand-up game. He's got good grappling. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a great matchup, dude. I'm excited for it.
I thought it was pretty cool that you accepted this fight and wanted to fight right away. Because to make it into joking terms, last time you beat Jesse Wable's BFF, Josh Kozier, which, like you say, was his hometown, I guess you could say, as far as that goes. And now you're fighting Zach Cooper, who I don't know if you've ever seen the jokes, but Zach and we went to the same high school, although we're probably 15 years apart. We wrestled at the same high school, went to the same high school. And if you look at high school photos of me, him and I almost looked identical. So we joke that I'm his father and we just don't know it. So if you take out Zach, all the credit in the world to you for taking out Jesse's guy and then my guy.
Hey, that's what's up.
Which one were you more excited about, Kozier or Zach Cooper?
Honestly, man, just excited just to compete, man. I'm trying to, after this fight, I mean, I'm trying to hopefully fight in March. I know the card's set already, so it just depends where I fight in March. But I'm just trying to fight every 2 months, be active, not be lazy, man. That's it. That's the plan. That's the goal.
Any other local guys you're looking at in your weight class you even thought about, not calling them out, but anyone that Jesse should kind of work on out there?
Nah, I'm just going to say yes to everyone Jesse puts in front of me, man. That's it.
Where's that
mindset? You need to train
other
other guys to do that.
Yeah. Where's that mindset and that attitude coming from? Like, I want to fight every 2 months and I don't care who I'm fighting. I just want to fight.
I mean, I guess it's just realization in myself. I learned that when I don't compete, I start getting lazy. I start, eating a lot because I love food, so I start eating a lot, gain a little weight, start just watching TV and just become stagnant. And then, when I'm competing and I have something booked every 2 months, I was like, I'm working all the time. So I just like to work, I guess.
Indeed, man. Again, big fight coming up this Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Brewing. Walter Flores versus Zach Cooper. Walter, do you know what song you're gonna walk out to?
Probably the same song. Probably keep it
where it's at.
Yeah.
And what song was that, bro?
It was a song from Stranger Things. I don't know if you watch Stranger Things on Netflix, but I forgot what's it called, but it's by Kate Hutton. But I mean, I just like the song because I mean, kind of. I use it when I shadow box, so I just
get you in the zone. Walter, you wear the Peruvian flag over your shoulders, correct?
Oh yeah, dude, all day.
Indeed. Will you have a lot of family and friends at the fight?
I think so. I'm not really sure, honestly, dude. Like my family life, private life, try and keep them. I mean, I kind of don't. I think my family just was like, oh, dang, you're fighting this week? I was like, yeah, I am. I was like, so I kind of don't really tell them much, not because of the nerves, but just because, I'm just focused on them when I'm with them. So, if they come, they come. But yeah, they most likely will watch,
Indeed. Dave?
Well, that's the first fighter I've met that doesn't really tell their family when they're fighting. I've never really heard that before.
Yeah, man, I just try and keep things just like, I guess, my work separate, my family separate, and then my fighting separate. My fighting is selfishly just for me. So,
Hey, my 14-year-old nephew still thinks I'm a pro wrestling promoter. He doesn't realize what I do because he's not into fighting. He's never wanted to come to an event. I only tell my mom when there's a fight. She knows I'm busy that weekend if anything happens. But yeah, all my neighbors. I've been in the same house for 20 years, and none of my neighbors even really know what I do for a living. So it's kind of odd.
Yeah. I mean, at work, nobody knows that I fight. They see the ears and they'd be like, "Oh, you used to wrestle or do jiu-jitsu?" I was like, "Yeah, I do that," and that's it. I just keep it at that.
Now, your fight is taking place at Monday Night Garage. You fought at Tannery Row. Have you fought at the District before?
The District, yeah, I fought at the District before.
Do you have a preference on the venue in which you fight? Like, would you rather fight at one of the three?
Nah, man. Honestly, it doesn't matter, dude. Wherever there's a ring, cage, and me and my opponent right across, that's it. That's all that matters.
I like that energy, man. How do you expect this fight to play out?
I mean, I feel like it's gonna be a good pace fight. You know, we're both going in there to bring it. I know he has, you know, he wants to avenge, you know, his teammates' loss, and I'm going in there to, you know, do work and keep getting the W's. You know, that's my goal. You know.
Indeed, man. Are you on weight?
Am I? Nah, man. I'm actually like 30 pounds out. Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, dude. Yeah, dude. Actually, dude, after making the change to 45, I mean, man, the weight is great, dude. I think I'm maybe like 8 pounds out or so, something like that. So, I mean,
looking at the 7-day spreadsheet for weight, you guys were 1 pound apart on Thursday when you guys sent me your video. So you guys are both right in that 10%, 7 days out.
That's what's up.
That's what's up, man. Hey, well, Walter, man, we definitely look forward to watching you compete this coming Friday, man. Before we part ways, is there anything you want to leave David and I and the entire NFC community with?
Yeah, man, I just want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Priceless Nutrition, Just Heart Apparel, Wages and Sun, and ATL Dispensary. Also, shout out to, you know, all my teammates, my coaches, ATT Nation. We coming strong, January 20th. And I mean, man, there's a lot of great fights. You know, the fights that I'm looking for is Trace Harper. He's getting that belt. And then and Ron Humphrey. People don't know Ron. Ron's scary dude. I mean, I see him at the gym. I never want to spar that guy because he's scary, bro. But you know, Ron, I think Ron's gonna put Xavier out for sure, bro.
I love the energy for sure, man. Look forward to seeing you compete this coming Friday, brother.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Respect, Walter. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Walter Flores is joining us here on NFC Now, show number 17. That's David Oblas. I'm Julian Virgin. This is Monday, January 16th. Again, as we are preparing for NFC Fight Night 152 at Monday Night Brewing this coming Friday, January 20th. Coming up next to the NFC Now podcast, we have man, they like to call. What do they like to call him?
Man, I've been waiting for this guy on the show. We were supposed to have him last week. I canceled. We have him this week. They call him Baby Hulk. Everyone calls him Baby Hulk, and I have been looking forward to talking to this guy. So let's bring him in and say hi, but then we're going to show his video. Baby Hulk, we see you in all those muscles.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Before we start talking, I want to show people one of the videos. I watched probably 10 of these videos today. They scare the shit out of me. But let's check them out.
30 seconds. Catch your breath. Use your kicks. Don't go with your leg kicks, man. Just run them legs.
I've been putting on fights for 21 years. I do everything I can to have a doctor, an ambulance, 3 orthopedic surgeons, make it safe. That goes against everything I like, but I respect it. Tell us what the hell that is, all the rules, and how you even do that.
For the guys who don't know, that's Street Beast. It's a backyard fight organization. And dude, I was trying to start my amateur career, couldn't really find any fights. You know how Amis, how finicky that could be. So, dude, I just took a 6-hour drive down there and made it happen. Did it like 8 times, and apparently I got a little bit of a following from there.
So I saw like 10 million views on YouTube or something. Does that result in any money for you, or does that go to the Street Beast company?
Oh, no, that's all to them. Like, I just get like exposure.
Damn it. I was hoping you were making a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm secretly a millionaire for real. But it was great being on there. Like, the one thing is, yeah, I didn't get paid, but it's a huge platform. And, a lot of people who wouldn't get a chance to get introduced to me got a chance to get introduced to me. So I'm happy about that.
We also got an opportunity to be introduced to the referee, man. Yo, he needs to be fired. That fight should have been stopped 3 minutes earlier. God dog, man, you ain't feel bad? You ain't feel bad unloading on your homie?
Yo, of course I felt bad, but like if you see like the next round, I literally tell him, "Hey man, you gotta stop this." But come on, like it's the business that we in. Like I wish it would have got stopped a lot earlier, but I think he was safe. So all in that ends well.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, David Baby Hulk Wilson joining us here on NFC. Now, just even as we watch that video, it goes to show that you love fighting, man. What is it about when you're in a grass ground cage or just in the NFC cage or anywhere else, man? What is it about like that moment of actually just getting down and competing that you love so much?
Well, like I've competed since I was like 14 years old, wrestling, and I did a little bit in college. But I don't know, MMA is just, you get around that crowd and you feel that like electricity, especially at the last event I was at. It's like I eat it up. I love being in there. I love showcasing what I got and all the hard work that me and my team put in. So like I get on that mat and I try to be an artist, just paint what I see and give everybody a great show.
You fought for a few different promotions here. It looks like 5 or 6 different promotions. How did our last event at Monday Night Brewing kind of compare to the other shows that you fought for?
Oh no, it was sick. Like I love the setup of it being in the brewery. We got pizza on one side, we got booze on another, and then we got the boys in the back fighting. So it was a great vibe. Everybody was super chill, like great crowd. Like I got a treat because usually the events I go to is like all MMA, but it was so many Muay Thai fights there. So as somebody who doesn't get a chance to see a lot of Muay Thai, that was freaking awesome. So it is definitely near the top of like events that I've been to. It was great.
That's real, man. And unfortunately, your fight ended unceremoniously in the first round due to disqualification. I spoke to you at weigh-ins of the fight, man. You were telling me that you came all the way a couple hours drive. Was it North Carolina or South Carolina?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, man. You coming all the way out there, man, for a fight to be ended in the first round due to disqualification. I'm sure that drive home had to be sickening.
Yeah, the city was great to us. Like afterwards, like I'm glad that the people that came with me got a chance to enjoy themselves because they put in just as much work as I do. And like they deserve to, have a good time. But me as a competitor, like that ate me up. I couldn't, like, that's literally the only thing I could think about for weeks. And the biggest part about it being a disappointment is I know what I like to showcase and I know what type of fighter I am. And I know I'm not a dirty fighter. So just the fact that, it ended like that and like so much those unresolved feelings. But man, I just, put my head down. Learn from it. My team let me know, don't let it hold me back and just get back to work, man. That's all it's about.
Was it important for you to get a rematch against the same guy for the same promotion, the same venue? Like, does that kind of at least make up for spilled milk there?
Oh yeah, I think that's like, I'm all like a storyline guy. So this is a great storyline. Like we're running it back. Like is there a little bit of bad blood? Like, I don't know, but dude, I'm so glad we got to do this again because, dude, like I think Jesse set this match up for a reason. I think it's going to be a really good matchup. It's going to be a barn burner, and going to give the people what they want.
Do you know what song you're walking out to?
Oh, already. I'm walking out to "Limitless" by John Key. If y'all don't know, it's the theme song for the Pivot podcast. Oh, that shit goes hard.
Oh, you like that pop?
What? Come on.
Yeah, no, that's real, man. That's real. Now, your emotions as you walk into the cage. I know you said that you feed off the crowd, man. But you are a human. Do you experience any other emotions outside of excitement as you're walking into a cage fight?
Oh, of course, man. In the back, we're saying our prayers. We know it could go any way. Like, we know that's the reality of the sport. So, of course, those feelings are there. Those thoughts in the back of your head. But, man, when I'm out there, I don't let none of that shit even, like, enter my mind frame. It's go, enjoy the moment, and, live on the edge.
And why do you fight? Like, what's your why?
Man, like, a lot of people ask me that, and it's it's a myriad of things, but at the root of it, man, like just being in there, being able to compete with, you know, the highest level of guys, we know that this is probably like one of the hardest things a human can do. And we go out there and we put all our emotions and all our, you know, hard work. And see, you got your gym on your back, you got the people you support. Like, this is gladiator warrior type shit that, you know, I love. And then at the end of the day, you know, we can shake it up, we can like go get a beer, and then I can tell the crowd like how being positive and like working to improve yourself, and, you know, having people around you that love you and support you, and just being a good person, I get to tell that message to people. It's like, come on, man, that shit gives me goosebumps.
I don't know how much you remember talking to me at weigh-ins or fight night, because it was your first time here. But I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I'm only 5'3.5" on a good day. You were like 5'5'1", give or take. And we talk to people on the podcast all the time that they fight because they were picked on as a kid. Was that you being a little guy like me? Were you always picked on growing up?
So like, I always kind of had that attitude of like, nobody puts their hands on you. So not like a lot of physical bullying, but bro, I've heard every name in the book times 5, like every show. Like, come on. So being me, like, yo, you gotta have tough skin, and like I think that helps me, because like, dude, a lot of people will criticize you and they'll tell you like you're wasting your time and all that shit. So I've heard the worst. So that shit is nothing.
I think that makes 2 of us, and that leads me to how did you get the nickname Baby Hulk?
Okay, so in high school, you know, I was kind of similarly built to this. So there was a wrestling manager, and she just seen me wrestle one day. She's like, geez, like, you're like built like a baby Hulk. And like everybody laughed at it, and it was really funny. But like every time she saw me, she would call me Baby Hulk. And I kind of just ran with that in college. And whenever I kind of competed, I was like, what's your name? I'm like, it just fits. It's like such a symbolic name, and it's just like a great name.
Indeed, great name, great guy that we look forward to watching compete this Friday, January 20th at NFC Fight Night 152. As the storyline continues, as you like to say, you love a good storyline, as we have the rematch from the first fight, which is a disqualification due to it was an illegal knee, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Due to an illegal knee. Now we're going to be running it back this Friday against David Devant, Tomato. How do you see this fight playing out, brother?
Man, like, I put my foot on the gas, and like how long these guys can like stay in there. They stay in there. Like, all the training I've done, like the striking is definitely picked up. The grappling is always there. The condition is there. So like I said, I just go in there on hard work, fighting like IQ and instinct, and it's usually a fun fight. It's usually good things happen when those are all clicking.
Would you rather get kicked in the stomach to where like you lose your breath, or kicked in the mouth in a fight?
In the stomach. But because I got rock hard ass, because I got these good abs, and I think once they pow, and you know, I give them that good poker face and kind of skate off. Give me a couple of seconds to like kind of regroup. But like a good solid shin to the face, yo, you gotta reevaluate where you at.
Would you rather lose by submission, where you get like put to sleep, or get knocked out to sleep?
Damn. Man, I'm from a jiu-jitsu gym, so getting put to sleep, yo, the boys will fucking clown me forever. So I'll probably get knocked out. At least if I go out like a soldier, like we're banging it out and I fall, like fuck it happens.
Would you rather get Nate Diaz slapped? Would you rather get Stockton slapped or humped by Izzy or Adesanya?
The slap for sure. I think I could come back from the slap. I don't know if I could come back from that.
From the way he did Paulo Costa, just humped him.
Yeah, like the two hard. I'm like,
That's hilarious, yo. Hey, David, Baby Hulk Wilson, man. Final thoughts. What do you want to leave David and I and the wonderful NFC community with?
You guys run a great promotion. I love, you know, how you showcase the fighters. I love the videos and everything. It's a great community to be a part of. A couple of my boys fight for you guys, so you guys are doing a great job. And if you are in like question of like one of your performances of the night, just lock it up already, because that's going to me. Like, A lot of the reason why I was like so disappointed the first time, because dude, you guys deserve like no disrespect. It was some great fights that night, but I was gonna blow the roof off that shit. So that's what I'm leaving with. Nothing but confidence. Shout out to my opponents. Hope you're doing your thing, and let's put on a good fight.
David Baby Hulk Wilson, man, thank you for joining us. We look forward to watching you Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Garage.
Yes, sir. Y'all be easy.
Hold it down. Baby Hope, he lived up to the hype, Dave. You said you was excited to talk to him, man. He was a very interesting character.
He was an interesting guy. I wanted to ask him stats. I wanted to ask him he weighs 135, what he bench presses, what he squats, stuff like that. But I'll ask him at the event.
Did I rush it? Is that my fault?
No, you didn't rush it. But sometimes I can't come after your questions. I know when to let go and when to ask questions. So I release to the better interviewer and go with what it is. So yeah,
it's all.
I'm trying to see who's. So Russ Cassidy said, "Let's go, David Devont. Run this shit back. Let's get it." So they both have fans there. He's throwing that out. I guess he's obviously not a David Wilson fan. We got Sean Corning. Let's go, Baby Hulk. Waiting to see you perform. And of course, Larry Green from North Carolina. Larry seems to know everyone in North Carolina.
I love the way they put on for each other. And we love the community feedback here live on the NFC Now podcast. Y'all continue to drop those comments. We'll continue to shed light on them. David, always just drop those in there. I always have it on like full mode where I can't see anything that else is going on because I want to be able to just be locked in with our wonderful guests here on the pod. But y'all definitely make sure that you keep this community feedback going. We would love to hear from you here on NFC Now. This is our 17th show. That is David Oblas. I'm going to get it right one time. That's David Oblas. I'm Julian Virgin. Again, this is NFC Now as we're preparing for NFC Fight Night 152. Stepping up next to the pod, who's our lovely guest that we have coming up?
Many people call him my son. We went to the same high school, Chattahoochee High School. We both wrestled. Although I'm 20 years older than him, I don't think my name is on the wall anymore. But before we bring him in, Zach Cooper, let's see the video of him prior to bringing him
What's up? How y'all doing?
Zach, Darce, Queen, Cooper joining us here on NFC Now. Very impressive performance that you put on at that fight, too. I meant to tell you that, man, at the Pink Pony a couple months ago. Welcome to NFC Now, man. Thank you for joining us. Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday to you. Happy MLK Day to all you. So what's up?
Shout out to you for shouting out MLK, my boy. Came on the pod with the blessing. I like that energy, man. You good in my book. You good in my book. David says that that y'all have a lot of similarities as well as you're Jewish, correct?
Yeah, I am.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Are
you coming out?
Glickstein, so that's one of the most Jewish names you can get.
Your what name is Blickstein?
Her maiden name is Glickstein. Anything with gold or Steen, you're Jewish for sure.
My mom's maiden name is Greenberg. So
great. That's another one too.
we're up there.
Yeah.
No.
Respect, man. Got a big fight coming up this Friday against Walter Flores, who just joined us on the pod. It's fight week, man. What are your emotions just leading into, about to go into war?
I'm excited. I'm super ready. Finally back to 145 after, 5+ years not fighting at 145. My last two are like 162 and 170. So I'm really dialed in. I got all my nutrition, everything perfectly planned out this week. I've been hitting it hard, sweating. I'm super excited to finally be back at 145.
Indeed. Now, when you fought Shlomo, what weight was that at?
162.
That was at 162. So you were just in a completely different weight class, man. How does that affect your confidence? Coming off of a loss.
It doesn't really affect me anymore. It used to. I used to get so upset about losses, and man, I was supposed to win this fight and win this next fight, so on and so forth. I'm just having fun in there right now. And at 45, I think there's a lot of good matchups out there right now. But yeah, it's in the past. It doesn't bother me at all.
As you've gotten older, has like your mindset around that changed, and like what helped your what clicked in your head to be like, yo, I'm just out here having a good time, bro?
I kind of let go of chasing the UFC dream. That's kind of where I'm at now. I had a 4-year layoff. I ended up moving to Florida for 2 years, training at the big American top team down there. Had a couple injuries that set me back. Pandemic happened. Became a firefighter in a year, and kind of was just like, if I come back to fighting, I'm just going to do it for fun. You know, I'm not old. I'm 29, but that's about the age that they would want. Like that's like middle of the peak years. So I kind of just gave it up and was like, all right, I'm just going to go fight and have fun. If something comes of it, something comes of it.
Respect. David?
Is it weird seeing Akeem Bashir? I'm just looking at the list that when you mentioned the fights in your weight class, we've got Akeem Bashir versus Justin Artiga. Like, I'm going to have to look at the dressing rooms, but is that ever weird for you, like being in a dressing room with someone potentially you might fight out there in the future?
No, I think we're both probably focused on the task at hand that night. Some people let it get to their head. Some people kind of mean mug and jaw at each other. But for me, it doesn't matter. I don't care whoever's in my locker room. I don't care if the person I'm fighting is in the same locker room as I.
And looking at it, you're not in the same dressing room, but okay. I am having problems making the dressing room, so I might actually put Walter Flores in your dressing room.
Yeah. Make our list right next to each other.
You guys just help each other warm up.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's what they do in tennis. I don't know if you've ever seen tennis, but they actually volley with each other as they're warming up for a tennis match. Yeah. Two players that are playing each other warm up with each other before they start the match. But tennis is a much different sport than MMA fighting in a cage.
Let's start a new trend. Let's start doing that. Sparring backstage.
It's still mano-a-mano though. Like I feel like, you know, it's still kind of like, hey, I'm here to beat you. I'm not here to beat the team. I'm here to beat you.
Yeah.
And Walter in the promo video, I know you had Gently come to the gym, do an amazing job on the promo. What'd you think about it when you saw it?
I thought it was awesome. She had a quick turnaround on this one. The last one took a week, and the next day after she filmed me, it was up. I was like, oh, dang, that's quick. So she always does a good job. It's fun to see those things. Fun to see Oblast putting all the effort into reaching out to people to get that stuff done.
Look at this. He's been on multiple of the highlight videos, the preview videos, and now he's critiquing one to the other. I don't think you can see it on the screen there, but that's actually Walter Flores saying we can do a little sparring backstage and then in the cage is business. Yeah. So I think he likes the idea of you guys warming up together.
Yeah, once it's in the cage, we're not friends. We can be friends before or after, but those 15 minutes or 17 with the breaks, he's my enemy. He's the guy who beat my teammate. Whoever it is, I don't care who's across the cage. That's my enemy for 15 minutes.
I think that was my next question if it wasn't Julian's. You know, he did beat Josh Kozier. Now he's fighting you, SPG. You know, is that something? I'm sure you guys have talked about that, and I'm sure it's a cool motivational and bragging point should it happen.
Yeah. It's we kind of have a friendly rivalry with them. They're close by. They have a ton of fighters. We have just a few, but it's always fun to fight those guys. Knowing the good gym that they come out of. Yeah, I mean, it's not something we harp on that he beat us and he's from top team, but it's like, all right, he beat my teammate. So I'm gonna get that one back. That's my mindset in this one is I'm looking to really get this one back for Kozer and SPG.
Your parents come to all the fights. Are they able to make it this weekend?
My mom, no. And my dad actually may be in town. I think I got him a ticket. I think he has some business he's doing in Atlanta. He's just going to stay an extra day. So, they moved to Florida, but he came to he wasn't there in the last one, but he was the knockout you showed earlier.
I remember seeing him there.
Yeah. Pacing around in the back.
You have support from your family. You have support from your gym, man. But I'm just curious. What's your why? Like, why do you fight? I know you said you're just fighting to have fun now, man. But like, how does one even like get to the point to be like, hey, like I want to get in the cage and go fight somebody?
I think like I said, it used to be to get to the UFC. Now it's just really, I love it. I love competing. I think competing is at the core of my why of everything. I love to test myself and my skill like individually, not with teams, not with anything else. Just rely on myself individually. That's a real tough question, but yeah, I just love to have fun in there and go spar and test myself individually.
It's really evident when you go out there and compete, man. And whether that's in jiu-jitsu or just go out there in martial arts, man, you're a real pleasure to actually go out there and watch compete. And one thing is always consistent is like, the team that's behind you. We had on Clope Philippe Gentry come on and just speak about you. He spoke about Josh, man. Like, what is the team? What does SBG like really mean to you at its core, Zach?
We're close. It's not just a gym. We're close. We're all family there. We're always constantly communicating, hanging out inside and outside the gym. We got our backs no matter what. Philippe has created such a good environment at Buford and Atlanta, putting together different events for the team to get together outside the gym, and just has such a great environment and solid energy all around. Like, there's no other gym I'd rather be at because of the energy and the environment.
Sense of pride when you go out there.
When you went to UGA, you were at the hardcore gym back then with Rory and Adam Singer.
Yep.
I guess for all the people that haven't known about the hardcore gym, Brian Bowles, Forrest Griffin, all the other guys, describe kind of what that mentality was like over there and the hard work and not the fancy gyms that we have these days.
Yeah. Right when I got there, I think 2013, there was about a 2 or 3 year period where it was still the old school, like, let's sprawl or let's brawl it out every Tuesday, every Saturday, and just go hard. And there was tons and tons of fighters. It was kind of like, I guess, Team Lima, like you see now, like 20, 30 fighters in the room. Like you said, Brian Bowles was my main training partner for a few years. Forrest wasn't there when I was there, but he came back once. And it was a different environment. And then they kind of changed it over to SPG, they were always SPG, but they just kind of switched the name, and it kind of changed a little bit more into focusing on the business side of that. And then the fighters kind of left, and then they started getting some fighters back. Lawson always stayed. Bowles was always there, and there was a few other amateurs always there. And now they're kind of making a come up. We got 3 SPG Athens guys, James, Nick, and Austin on the card too. So it's always good. I try to get up there as much as I can, hopefully once a month, because Adam and Rory are just a wealth of knowledge. There's tons of people in that room. You can get some good rounds in too.
Yeah, and they used to be kind of the Saturday training place. I remember my buddy Dave Vitkin, a lot of other guys would drive an hour and a half there every Saturday to train up in Athens with you guys up there.
Yeah, I trained with Dave, Stephen Upchurch, Chaz Walton. Everyone's come through the hardcore gym at SPG Athens. It's a solid environment. They have tons of room on the mat, so good coaching too.
How do you expect this fight to play out on Friday?
I don't really plan too much, but I'm hoping to get the knockout in round 1. I'm really confident in my stand-up of late. I got a little tired my last fight. Didn't really do the extra running or extra cardio or anything. So I'm definitely in shape, and I'm super confident. I think I can beat him everywhere. Obviously, he thinks the same thing, but I just got to set things up and find my shots. But I'm hoping for a first-round knockout.
That feeling of knocking another person out like you did at the Pink Pony, man, what does that feel like? Finishing an opponent.
Oh, no better feeling. Just the ref pulling you off, or just a clean knockout. I've only had 1 clean or 2 clean knockouts, but just knowing just that primal instinct jumping on the person and just hammering away until that ref just pulls you off. It's a weird feeling. It's primal for sure, but it's awesome.
You know what you're walking out to? What song?
I got a few options. I still got to decide. There's a couple good ones. I think the fans will like whatever I pick.
And you're fighting at Monday Night Garage. You fought at Pink Pony. You fought at the District. I'm not sure if you fought at Tannery Row, but
hopefully. Do
you have a preference like on venue?
I've never fought Monday Night, but I hear it's pretty good for the fighters, the warm-up areas and everything. They all have their pros and cons. I surprisingly liked the Pink Pony because I was warm within like 2 minutes. I just walked outside and I'm already sweating. I'm like, all right, there's my warm-up, and just went out there and did the thing. So, there's tons of good venues. I know we've been to Center Stage in the past, and Wild Bills. I don't know what that's called now. I've fought
Atlanta Coliseum.
It's called Atlanta Coliseum?
It's called Atlanta Coliseum. They only put on 100% Mexican events. Nothing like what they used to. It's kind of odd.
Dang. Well, that sucks because that was a good venue to fight at too. But I mean, the District is great too. I love the District. It's an intimate environment. It's nice and small. I like that. What about Center Stage? Have you thought about going back to Center Stage?
I really haven't, just because I've naturally thought about it and talked about it, but I just don't see it happening. Center stage, I'm all about relationships and people that welcome you in. And every venue I have right now loves the NFC, loves the fights that we do, wants us to come back. I can't do enough dates to fill our 4 venues that we have. And looking at a 5th one right now, center stage was never about that. They were jerks from start to finish, complaining about everything nonstop. The rates would go up during COVID. They went down, up, down, up. So I just don't see myself going back to center stage anytime soon. It's beautiful. It is probably the nicest venue in Atlanta. But yeah, I just don't see it happening anytime soon.
What about the Roxy? I've always wanted to fight there. So you were going there in March.
Are you talking about the Roxy and the Battery?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not doing there. We're going to do sport and social at the Battery, which is pretty dope. But the Roxy's like $15,000. That's above what I can afford, unfortunately.
So the cage is going to be like in that little pit area near the big screen? Really?
About like the 50-foot screen. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be dope.
Have you scoped out all the warm-up areas and everything?
Yeah, so the warm-up area is going to be cool. One's going to be upstairs. The other one's going to be at PBR. So we're going to shut PBR down during the fights and use that as the dressing room. Nice. The walkout would be down the long stairs there. You've got the huge 50-foot screen TV. And we're actually, my cage won't fit in there. So I'm going to be bringing from Combat Night in Florida, Mitchell Tramali's cage up. Mine's a 24-foot cage. His is an 18-foot cage.
Yeah,
it is a tiny cage. It is a small cage. But the weird thing is I've never seen one person complain about the size of their cage. And they've had heavyweights in there. So
it's interesting. I've always wondered about fighting in that super, super small cage because we almost got Amanda a fight for them. It's almost like you take one step and you're right there.
Yeah. To tell you the difference, when we put the cage up, we have 2 tables on each side. When you're commentating, there's 2 tables, so 6 people. Their cage can only fit 3 people on each side. So that tells you how small their cage is. But they do have 2 cages, an 18-foot and a 20-foot. So a little bit of difference, but not much. So it'll be interesting to see.
Has he said why he does that? Why he has that small cage?
I think just the venue sizes. So he uses I do small, intimate, exciting, fun venues. And the smaller cage you have, that means a smaller venue you can go to.
Nice.
My 24-foot doesn't fit in some cage. Even at center stage when we were there wasn't a lot of walking around room. So the smaller your cage, the more fans you can put in there, and the more venues it opens you up to. So
nice.
Yeah.
Zach, now it seems like you're really interested in fighting on this March 10th card, man. You got to give Jesse Wable and David Oblas a reason this Friday to put you on that card to make sure that you on that, huh?
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I come out injury free. I know I got some flack on the NFC community because I was like, man, my goal was to call out Devontae and get that fight back. Because 4.5 years ago, no, it was 5 years ago in Bellator, he beat me by 3rd round guillotine choke. So I really wanted that one back, and given the 45 belt was vacant, I was like, ooh, that's a good opportunity. I'm going to call him out. But we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. That should be a good fight, Mike Wilson versus Devontae. That's a fire fight right there. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes January.
We'll see how it goes on Friday, man. Just before we I got a couple more things. You mentioned earlier that you are a fighter by day, man. Mm-hmm. How did that come about, and how has that just helped you as just on a man-to-man level?
Oh, it's the perfect job to have if you're a fighter. 1 day on, 2 days off. I was trying to figure out, we moved back home from Florida right before the pandemic, so perfect timing for us. But I had no idea what to do. I had just a remote job and I didn't like it. And then they kind of got away with the job once the pandemic happened. So I was looking at all my values, everything that I wanted, and firefighting was perfect. So I applied to 5 different places, took almost a year. The whole process started January 2021, 40 weeks. And now I'm full-time off my probation period. I think 1.5 years in now. And I love it. It's such a good job because we can work out on shift. We just hang out and then we get calls. We run calls all day. Just have a good time. So it's perfect. 2 days off too. So my 2 days off, I'd immediately go to the gym, do a 2-day, and then same thing the next day, and then train on shift. So
respect for what you do for our society, man, the entire NFC community. Yeah. Before we part ways, man, what do you want to leave David and I, as well as the NFC community, with?
Who's saying firefighter life?
So that's nasty, Nate.
Yeah,
saying that, and it's the best job in the world.
It is. It's awesome. He left briefly, but I saw he went back. So it'll pull you back in, man. It's such a fun job. You got a lot to do. What do I want to leave everyone with? That's a good question. I don't know. Just stay tuned. What is it on Fight TV this weekend?
They don't. I found out. I always call them Fight TV. They're not Fight TV. We can only refer to them as Fight, which I never knew. So it's Fight. Yeah.
It's like that time they try to make you Nat fight.
Or we can call them Fight by Triller. We can call them that if we want to. Fight by Triller.
Fight by Triller. Oh, it's a Triller thing. Okay, yeah. Well, buy your tickets. Buy the stream. Main event. Me and Walter are gonna. This is my third main event in a row. Both times have been spectacular fights. Even when I lost, it was a crazy good fight. I think there's gonna be a finish in this one. One of us is getting finished, and I definitely think that I'm gonna get that first round knockout.
Love the energy.
Before leaving, I was going to say, you and Nathan Williams, while he's watching right now, you and him need to start a company where you do the mobile IVs at all the fights. I've said that before.
Yeah. Me and my wife Casey were talking about doing mobile IVs and stuff for a little bit, and then and then just kind of fell through. But that would be cool if me and him did that.
They need a sponsor, David. Put some money up for him, man.
Yeah. In terms of 10K.
They're supposed to sponsor the NFC.
An alumni sponsor. Y'all said y'all went to the same high school, right? And y'all Jewish? Come on now, put some money up on them, Dave.
You don't say Jewish and then say put money up. Those two things don't go together. If you're Jewish, take money away. No.
Indeed. Zach Cooper, man, thanks for joining us, man. We look forward to watching you compete.
Yeah, man.
Friday, January 20th against Walter Flores, man. Keep saving lives out there, doing what you're doing. We look forward to, again, watching you hook them up.
Sounds good. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you. Man, we've had some good talkers tonight. Like all the guests, no one's been in their Doug Usher car outside the racetrack. Everyone's been a good talker. We've had good guests on tonight. Wable, Flores, Baby Hulk, Zach. Now it leads us into Addison in a minute. But yeah, everyone's been top notch.
I'm going to tell you this, man. Zach is a top tier guy. Like he's a top tier dude. I'm like, yo, I like talking to Zach. Like just very, very just like straightforward. He's interested. You see like he was asking you questions and you was getting interviewed for a second. And like Zach is a real cool dude, man. I definitely look forward to watching him compete. And just like he said, win, lose, or draw, he goes out there, he puts on a pretty damn good fight every time, man. I haven't seen a boring
I can't give all these guys the tips on why you buy a smaller cage and why do you do this and that. I'm gonna have to have them sign a non-compete clause. I should be telling everyone buy the biggest cage you can find. Buy the 45-foot cage. Everyone likes that cage. So yeah, I should be giving you guys that info.
Again, you always dropping jewels here on the pod, man. Just giving us a couple gems to stick with, but not for the competitors, man. The competitors can go kick some rocks. First round TKO on the competitors. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NFC Now, show number 17. Just like Jenna Lee said, Zach Cooper is awesome. And when they did the promo, I don't know if you noticed, Zach Cooper really helped sell tickets. Because, again, when I asked him his final thoughts, go buy the tickets, NFCfighting.com. On the promo, he cut the promo. He was like, yo, go. Julian, what team Octopus do you train at? No, I would train at SBG, Atlanta, right down the block from my crib. Like, literally a stone's throw away. So, shout out to Team Octopus, though. Y'all was cool. Yeah, I actually have never trained at Team Octopus. I've been to the one in Sandy Springs many of times, though. And the one in West Midtown. Yeah. So no, you're the I've only been at the Shanley one when you were up there. I think you were doing some type of maybe I don't know. Maybe we went up there. We shot somebody.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know. I don't think you and I have ever been to the Octopus Shanley together. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe we've been to a lot of other places.
Jenna Lee and I there to go shoot something or go meet somebody, and I think that's where the connection went.
But again, ladies and gentlemen, since Nathan Williams watching, we got to have him on soon because he's fighting a tournament coming up in April, supposedly $100,000 tournament. I've chatted with him a little bit about that on the side, so hopefully that goes well for him, and hopefully he does get $100,000. He's definitely earned it through his number of years of amateur and pro training and fighting here in Atlanta. So hopefully that works out for him.
Nate was a great guest on the pod when he came on. He was in the vehicle, but it was our fault because we had him waiting a long time because he was at the ATT with the whole gang. So shout out to you, Nasty Nate Williams. Look forward to watching you compete again. Definitely look forward to talking to our next guest, our guy Addison Graves. The one and only. What's up, brother?
Nice to see you both.
Always, man. Addison is a self-proclaimed subscriber to the NFC Now podcast, man.
Every Monday.
What do you like about the pod, man? Let's talk about it.
What do I like about the pod? I like how I like hearing you and Dave chop it up. And the banner back and forth. I like hearing about, you know, kind of the behind the scenes stuff with the fighters, the different promoters that y'all have had on, and just giving the fans, giving the supporters a view kind of behind the curtain a little bit of what goes into our production, Dave's production, and what goes into the week before the fights with all the fighters and their lives.
Indeed. And I think that's why it's important for us to have you on, man. We wanted to have you on last week. However, we had a little, you know, life happens. Life be lifing from time to time. But we got you on this week, man. Last week you had a big a promotion. But before we get to the promotion, you said something very interesting in that first answer. You said what we do, because you are a part of this NFC community. Would you please explain to everybody in the NFC community, what is your role within the fights?
Well, I started out just cleaning the cage. And man, I was there every single fight, early, staying late, just doing the best I could to keep the cage clean between the fights and between the rounds. Dave and Charlene kind of reached out to me and asked if I wanted to play a bigger role. And now I just tell people I do whatever Charlene tells me to do. I do my best to kind of fill in the gaps and make sure the fighters taken care of, get them water, make sure their warm-up areas ready to go, they have what they need, help bring guys down before their fights, help kind of space out the night a little bit. I've come early and helped set stuff up. I've stayed late, helped tore stuff down. I kind of just do the best I can to be the Johnny on the spot for Charlene, for Dave, for you and Jenna Lee sometimes. I try to just put out fires wherever fires are at.
Why?
Why do I like doing it?
Yeah, it's like, yo, like you started off clean and it's like, hey, like, all right, like I'm here to just put the fire out. Like that takes a special person to like even want to be tasked with that, man. Like what is your why? Why do you love the NFC? Why do you want to be around like this?
So I've been training with ATT for about 4.5 years now, and I get to see how much work these men and women put into their craft, put into, you know, their fights on fight night. And I'm just a huge supporter of that. Having come to a number of the NFC fights for the past couple of years, I was really drawn to how much energy and effort Dave and everybody put into showcasing and highlighting these, you know, this local talent, these local fighters. I've had a ton of jobs in the service, in the promotion kind of realm. And it's fun. It's fun getting to help create a good show for the fans. It's fun getting to help create an opportunity for our local fighters and local talent to showcase their craft.
Well, you are appreciated again, ladies and gentlemen. Addison Graves joining us here on NFC Now. David?
I was going to say you had the best seat in the house as the cleaner for quite a number of shows, and you gave that up to step back a little bit.
I still have the best seat in the house. I still hop in the ring sometimes.
You do. And I've actually got a list of things to give you Friday night to take off Charlene that I'll be emailing you in the next couple of days about things to widen what you do, because I know you get bored sometimes. There's not enough to do, and sometimes you get thrown into some things. But definitely give Charlene, you know, this avenue and give you this avenue that gives you both things to do all night, more experience and more fun, and just a little different avenue of things, I guess.
I'm looking forward to it.
But yeah, I think while you're cleaning the cage, you're always the best dressed guy in there. And I say, man, you can't come this dressed up. You're cleaning the cage. This is like jeans and a t-shirt. And then I think I talked to Jesse and Charlene, and I was like, damn, this guy Addison seems pretty sharp. He's just in there mopping the cage. Like, we need to talk to this guy and figure out what he wants to do and what he's about. And Yeah, I'm definitely glad we did. Obviously.
Well, if my thought, if I'm going to be in there, if I'm going to be cleaning the cage, if it's going to be me, the fighters, and the ref, and then maybe a coach for each side, I need to look good. Like if it's going to be me, I can't be in there, looking like trash.
Because you're in all the photos. Every photo and video has you in there. So yeah, that's a good theory.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a wife.
Talk that.
While you're looking for a wife, tell us about being a pilot. You're learning to fly planes and stuff like that now?
Yeah, so
for all the ladies listening, pay attention.
So I'm in a university program to be a aviation degree, but I'm also taking flight lessons at a local airport as well, in just a little small plane, but working through my licenses and certifications so that one day I can fly, jets or 747s or something like that.
Real modest with that, man. But your background, you do have a military background, man. Could you just you talk about flying fighter pilot, and flying those type of things, man. But could you just talk about your background in the military?
Yeah, so I went into the Navy when I was 19. I was in the Navy for about 9 years. Stationed in San Diego the whole time. I got to deploy to Central and South America and spent some time in the Middle East as well. I think San Diego is the best place to be. If you haven't been, you should definitely go. It's a beautiful city. I was lucky to spend almost a decade out there. It was fun. It was obviously, between the ages of 19 and 27, 28, formative years for anybody. But I really am grateful for a lot of the opportunities I had, a lot of the cool things I got to do while I was in the military. I tell people, I've been able to go places and do things that no amount of money can pay for. And that's not to put down in anybody else's experience, but it was definitely a unique experience. I definitely carry some of the lessons with me from the military, but I'm happy to be kind of on the other side, pushing into different parts of life as well.
Pushing in different parts of life, and one of those parts is jiu-jitsu, man. We just saw last week you were promoted to your purple belt.
Purple belt.
You're purple belt now, no longer in the blue belt pool. Jiu-jitsu itself, what does that mean? What is the discipline in the martial art of jiu-jitsu mean to you?
What does the art and the discipline of jiu-jitsu mean to me? Man, jiu-jitsu is a really fun challenge. And I can't, obviously I can't speak for every practitioner, but for me, it's help uncover potential in me that I don't think I recognized was there when I first started. It's definitely made me a more mature person, a more driven person. Man, when I first started, Brantley Fur was just whooping my ass all day long. And, it builds tenacity. One of the biggest things, it's given me confidence, and not just, confidence. Oh, hey, I'll go fight somebody or whatever. I don't want to do that, but just confidence of like, I can overcome strenuous things. I can calm down or find calm among stressful situations. I've been training about 4.5 years. Like I said, I got my purple belt last week, and probably mid last week, I was thinking like, man, it's been 4.5 years already. Like, I was a white belt looking at these purple belts, like these guys are wizards. And I don't know that I feel any different having a purple belt, but it's really cool to think that I just kept coming back. I just kept showing up week after week and learning little bit by little bit and just getting a little bit better. And it's helped me put a lot of things in perspective of like, just putting one foot in front of the other, and eventually you'll look back and be like, man, look at how far I've come.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, Addison Graves joining us here on NFC Now. David,
where were you at before Team Lima? Were you over at I'm trying to think of what it used to be called. Now it's called Gwinnett Training Academy. But
so when I first started,
I remember what it used to be called.
It was called ATT Gwinnett.
That's right. Yeah.
And then it switched names, and I trained under GTA for a little while, and then switched over to ATT Team Lima.
And have you done any tournaments locally or anything like that?
I've done a couple IBJJF, Atlanta Opens. I've done a couple Nagas, couple new breeds. I did a new breed, probably a month and a half ago. And I look forward to probably doing maybe 2 or 3 before summertime, hopefully.
we got to get him on an NFC JJ event. And I will say a couple months ago, somebody got caught slipping. Somebody slipped out, and Addison was about to just hop up in there. But, he didn't want to have to give nobody that work. But I understand.
Yeah. What Dave mentioned, there's an open slot on the card on the 25th. So
yeah,
maybe
I told you if you want it, you got it. I know you were going to do a different super fight. Just told you it was postponed or canceled, whatever. So I didn't even set this up with Julian. We didn't even talk about it. But yeah, should you want to compete? Absolutely, the spot's there.
Can we get an answer on the pod?
Yes, I want to compete.
I feel like I just got engaged or something like that. I just said, will you accept me?
I do. I do.
What weight are you?
I'm about.
What weight will you compete at?
I can compete. I gotta eat so much ice cream. I can probably compete at between 145 and 155.
Gi or no gi?
Whatever you need.
Oh, look at that. That's what I like. If you do no gi,
150 or up, because that'll give me a couple pounds with the gi.
We don't do weigh-ins with the gi. We do weigh-ins. You do it Facebook Live. You would do it in a different community, a closed community, and you just do it Facebook Live weigh-in. So and you weigh in whatever you want, just boxer shorts, whatever.
Sounds good.
If you do no gi, is it going to be with a rash guard, or since you're single looking for the ladies, no shirt?
I don't know. Rash guard?
That's more important than what walkout song is going to be. We can get Addison topless or not.
I'll have to think. I'll have to work on
February 25th to decide.
Yeah. I got a couple weeks.
We're gonna go find your bum ass purple belt to look good. I'm gonna find the worst damn purple belt in the state. I'm gonna give Germonte his purple belt tomorrow morning.
I don't know who Germonte is, but it sounds scary.
It's that tall glass of water I went against.
Okay, man, I tell you,
you'd beat the shit out of him.
I was telling a friend the other day, like, oh, you got your purple belt. I was like, yeah, man, it's kind of serious now. Like, people expect me to like actually know what I'm doing a little bit. So this will be my first one at purple belt.
Can't wait to see it, man. Now we got some big fights coming up on this Friday at the Monday Night Garage. Is there a fight that you're looking forward to? Can we pick some fights with you? Can we talk some fights with you? What's up, man?
Yeah. Let's talk some fights. I don't have
let's
the
talk
card
some fights, man.
on me.
I'm looking at the card right now.
Okay.
So the vacant NFC lightweight championship belt is up. It's against Trace Harper. He's been training at ATT versus Quincy Evans, who trains out there in Augusta. Man, who you got?
I've seen Trace Harper in the gym a couple times. I've seen Trace Harper fight a couple times. I'm gonna go with Trace. Yeah.
Okay, that should be a good fight. Ronald Humphrey versus Xavier Horton. That's for the welterweight strap too.
Ronald Humphrey, he's out of ATT Atlanta, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ain't got to play favorites either. We all know you train there. You don't have to play favorites. Keep it a buck.
For sure. Man, I think Xavier has surprised a lot of people. I think he's done a real good job bulldogging through a lot of his opponents. I think if he's been working on his cardio these past couple weeks since he's fought, his last fight was at Tannery Row, I believe.
Yeah.
He looked a lot more trim and a lot more cut at that Tannery Row fight than he did the last fight I saw him at.
Big Pony.
Pink Pony, exactly. I think if he keeps heading in the direction he's heading, I don't know him personally. I don't know what his training's like, but just based on seeing him fight a couple times, I'm going to go with Xavier on that one.
And it's weird. Everyone says Xavier's cardio is horrible. And I think people just say that because he's not baby Hulk. He's the real Hulk. He's built as Bill gets, but he went 2 rounds extremely hard. The 3rd round he gassed, but he didn't gas as bad as some guys do. Some guys you just see quit in the cage. Xavier never quit. He made it through the 3rd. So this is a 5-round fight, but everyone always says Xavier's going to gas. I don't think he's going to gas that bad.
I just think that we've seen enough Xavier fights to know that, like, at the Pink Pony, he gassed. He had an amazing first round. The 2nd round, he gassed.
Yeah.
I think his first fight, came out there. He wrestled a lot, but like he was gassed wrestling. You know what I'm saying? In that 3rd fight, he was gassed. So I don't know if it's too much of a reach. I'm not the one that's in the front of the line saying he's going to gas, but I'm not going to act like I haven't seen a fight where he doesn't gas, but I guess it's just he leaving it all on the line. I'm not mad at you. Shout out to Xavier.
Yeah, he goes hard and he doesn't fight bums, but
exactly. Yeah, he doesn't fight bums.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good
Flores,
fight. I don't think it's going to go 5 rounds.
Walter Flores, Zach Cooper. I'm going to have to go with my guy Walter Flores. I've known Walter for probably 6 years now. And he's been there since day one that I started training. But I don't think Zach Cooper's no slouch. I know he trains hard over at SBG, right?
Yep.
And he's got some more motivation behind him with Flores having beat Kozer. I think it's going to be a real good fight. I'm going to play favorites on this one and say Walter Flores.
Any dream matchups that you hope to see in the NFC cage this year?
Any dream matchups that I hope to see in the NFC cage this year? Man, you're putting me on the spot.
Or do you have like a favorite fighter or two that, like, just like off the top of the top, it's like, oh, I like watching that guy or a girl compete?
I can picture him in my head. Blonde hair, does kickboxing. Julian, Seth Haas. I like watching that guy fight. Definitely. I like watching that guy fight.
Jesse got him a fight against Tony Hope coming up in March at the Battery. So.
I like watching that'll be good. That'll be good.
That's a good fight right there, right?
Moves. Tony's got the moves, and Seth is just he's an aggressive fighter for sure.
I agree, man.
I think you're like me. I don't remember all the guys. I don't remember all the dream matchups. Like, I work different on spreadsheets and stuff like that. It sounds like you're a little bit like me. Like, when people put you on the spot, what's the best matchup you want to see? It's like, hold on. I need a couple minutes to think about that one here.
For sure. Yeah.
But to be fair, Addison is a fight fan. And when it's fight night, we have a lot of conversations. And we talk fights and we watch fighters after fights. We look at each other like, ooh, that was a good one. What you think? How you feel?
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah. And just on a personal standpoint, Addison is a great friend of ours. When I say ours, I mean Jenny and I. He is an honorary uncle for Sarai as well. His family took our family in for Thanksgiving. We were in the woods with them the day before Thanksgiving. We had an amazing time, and they showed us what camping really looks like. Glamping. Is that glamping?
Yeah.
To us, it was camping. Yeah. But they showed us what it was, man. Addison Graves is an amazing human, and I would definitely recommend him to any woman who is looking for a husband. That's our guy, Addison Graves. Now, Addison, before we do part ways, and I don't know if you had another question, Dave.
I was going to say, maybe as we talk about everything, we got to stop talking about being a cage cleaner. Like, we got to never bring that up again. Like,
hey, there's no shame in cleaning the cage.
I got to get you new business cards made or something like that. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Gotta get you.
We got to come up with a title. Let's think of a title. I'll get them made.
Started from the bottom. Now we are here. Again, that's Addison Graves. Addison, before we part ways, man, we want your final thoughts. What do you want to leave Dave and I and the entire NFC community with?
Man, just continue to try to be true to yourself, chase your dreams, take it step by step, support other people in their dreams. Be the kind of person that reaches out to the new guy or girl in the room and introduce yourself. And continue supporting Georgia's best MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and Jiu-Jitsu promotion.
That's our guy, Addison Graves, man. We appreciate you joining us. Tell your mother and your father we said hello. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Addison Graves. Make sure when you see him on Friday, you give him a handshake. You thank him for all the work that he does in contributing to our NFC community. Thank you, bro.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Hold it down.
And I'm going to have to tell Clay Bennett, I just committed to a slot on the NFC Jiu-Jitsu card in February.
Easy.
I didn't ask my boss, but I think I can make that kind of call now.
Easy. You got to put him on there, man. We want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Jack May competed. And now you see where he is. You know what I'm saying?
And hey, you just made it Jack May versus Addison Graves.
Nah, we can't do that. Nah, we ain't doing that. That's family fighting. Nah, we do that behind closed doors.
That's the best kind of fighting.
Nah, we ain't doing that. That's family. That's in-house. Nah, Addison can strangle some people. I've rolled with him a couple times before the shows. You know, I had to put it on him, but you know.
You say this we've just had him on for 15 minutes. You say this after he's off.
I sure did.
Hold on, let me click him back into the stream real quick. Let me click him right back.
I ain't gonna lie, on Monday, one day after Sunday. Again, we are here each and every Monday on NFC Now as we've previewed NFC Fight Night 152 and gotten ready for just a really big sold out show this Friday, man. It's super excited, man. Your thoughts about the pod?
I think it was fun. We had 5 really good guests. It's funny because I was writing down notes for us to talk about in case we run in the blanks here and there. And I wrote down, and we didn't have any tonight. We had like no blanks, no filler material. But I was writing down earlier, like, you know, the last 2 weeks in big time national promotions has been kind of the biggest 2 weeks I've seen out there. That's been talked about quite a bit. I mean, we had Dana White, you know, slapping his wife out there on what was that, New Year's Eve at the bar in Mexico or something like that. And people calling for his head and his removal, which obviously is not happening. We had Francis Ngannou, yesterday or today, leaving the UFC and them announcing they're making John Jones versus Cyril Gane for the title. Like, that's huge. Francis leaving, you know, I think that's the first time we've seen someone that's currently a champ leaving the UFC. It'll be interesting to see where he lands. You had your guy Ariel Helwani talk about Bellator potentially for sale out there. And then you have Jake Paul going to PFL. Like, those are 3 or 4 huge, enormous things out there. They're huge noisemakers out there in the 3 biggest promotions. And it was just amazing to see what's transpired in the last 2 weeks as I've been just reading all about it. And I don't know, like, we don't talk too much outside of the NFC and outside Georgia. Maybe one show we need to talk about these things. But yeah, it was just a crazy 2 weeks watching that from outside perspective.
It has been a crazy 2 weeks, and I keep up with all the MMA news, so I'm hip with everything that you're saying, man. But you know what? Like, I realized, like, during this gap of time that we talk here, like, we're so like inundated with NFC during this time. Sometimes like the UFC topics kind of get pushed to the side, and you know what? Maybe after we get all our guests out the way, we can talk about it. I'm a huge John Jones fan. Yeah. I wish he would be more of a heel. I wish he would just lean into him just being a bad guy. I think he's easily going to take that belt from he doesn't have to take it from Cyril now, but I think he's easily going to beat Cyril Gane. Just if we're just doing MMA math, if Ngannou out wrestled Gane, what is John Jones going to do to this guy? Even though I do think Gane is a really good striker, I agree with Ariel when he says they should make Jake Paul the head promoter of the PFL. I don't think that's a bad, because if you think about it, who's the face of the PFL?
What is his name? Ray Borg, I think, former fighter.
I've never seen him. If you put him in a lineup, I couldn't pick him out.
No one knows him. He's not a huge following. From what I've seen, he's not the best PR or marketing guy when you talk about a Dana White out there. But the head of Bellator,
Scott Coker,
he's not a huge PR guy. He doesn't look the part, you know, and I probably don't look the part either. I'm willing to admit that. There's not too many 5'4", big time MMA promoters out there, but it's business. They both handle the job. But I'm not a huge Jake Paul fan. I think when he fights, people watch, but they also don't really care that much. I think they just watch because they're little millennials that don't know better, so they watch. But I think
we watch because we want to see him lose.
Right, you want to see him lose.
If we're being honest, but then he's also entertained. Like he's bought a level of eyeballs to what's going on. I think the PFL is really doing a great job. I'm not hating on Jake Paul, but I'm past the point of hating on him. I'm like, all right, cool. I just think that him joining the PFL is a major power move for the PFL.
I just don't think people want to watch Jake Paul nonstop. I think when he fights once every few months and hypes some stuff up, it's cool to watch him. Look at what he did in Madison Square Garden with the females out there. It sold pretty well one time, but he hasn't really promoted that many fights since then. He said he was going to change MMA. He was going to change boxing. He was going to be a big-time promoter. That really hasn't happened. He did one show and hasn't done much since then. I think I'd start puking if I had to see Jake Paul every single day. Like, I don't mind seeing him every 3 months, but I don't think I'd do well if I had to hear from him like I do.
I think you have a legitimate point. And now I want to ask you about this Francis Ngannou business. As a promoter and somebody who does negotiate with other fighters, maybe not on that level, what do you think actually happened in those negotiations?
I don't know. I think what they say, Dana White said that they offered him a contract to make him the highest paid heavyweight in UFC history beyond Brock Lesnar, which is great. But I personally think I think a lot of fighters are crybabies. I think Francis started crying a year or two ago about his contract. He thinks he's worth more, this and that. Yes, he's an exciting fighter. Yes, he does knock people's head off. But I've never had one of my normal friends outside the fight industry ever say, hey, where are we going to watch the Francis Ngannou fight tomorrow night? That's not ever once happened. And I think at some point in time, you got to cut your losses, just like they did with Cyborg and just like they did with other people. No matter how good a fighter is or how good an athlete is. I just met the Braves assistant GM at a buddy's party last week, and he was firing questions off to me about fighting because he's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. And I was firing questions to him off about how he deals with athletes and contracts. And, the Braves just lost 2 players. And he said it's just business. We try to figure out when they're near the end of their career. And when they're near the end of their career and they don't think they have much to offer, get rid of them and bring in young guys, put them in the minor leagues and sign these guys a hell of a lot of money for a 5, 6, 8 year span, knowing that's going to be the bulk of their good years. But they do lose guys when they're popular. And I think UFC is the same way. Francis Ngannou hasn't been active in the last year or so. He's coming off knee surgery. He's older, and he's never been a big pay-per-view star. So how much can you afford to pay someone like that, and how long do you want to be involved with them, I think is the question that the UFC answered.
Fair question, and I think that's a fair argument about Ngannou. Now, my follow-up to that, if not Ngannou, which fighters could actually put up a big fight where like the UFC would have to pay?
I think the guy they just fired Ngannou for, John Jones. The Avi just gave him an 8-fight contract. He's proven to be an extremely exciting fighter. He's proven to sell pay-per-view buys. He's more controversial now than when he last fought in the UFC. I mean, you talk about the most popular ones. They're John Jones, Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz, Ronda Rousey, a few other ones out there.
Israel in there. Israel's in there.
But now that you got John Jones in the heavyweight division, he could potentially win the title. He could fight Stipe for the title and defend it versus him. He could even possibly go down a weight class. You don't know what he can do out there. He might become the Conor McGregor and do 2 weight classes. He might even get arrested for, cocaine or drunkenness or whatever he does every few months. That only makes it more and more exciting as long as he doesn't get locked up in jail. But John Jones is a superstar out there. Francis Ngannou is not a superstar.
I agree. I'm not going to argue with any point that you just made. That's exciting. Now, again, most promotions haven't been back yet either. UFC, they had a fight card on Saturday. It was really like washed because there was NFL playoff football on. So I don't know. Nobody was really worried about the fights last week, in my humble estimation. So with that being said, NFC Fight Night 152 should be the most exciting fight card in the U.S. soil coming up this Friday. So if you haven't already, you can't get your tickets anymore, but maybe David might show you a little bit of love at the door.
So I am right now. It's funny. I am trying to start a StubHub account for the NFC. I actually called them Saturday morning and talked to them to try to figure out how to register NFC, and they're supposed to get back to me tomorrow. But I figured that might be a way for fans to resell their tickets, because I always see the Pakistan bots on our Facebook community. I don't know if you see them out there, but once we make a post with the word ticket or sold out or whatever, these damn Pakistan bots will post 50 messages. Hey, I have 4 tickets available. I can't make it because I can't find a babysitter. And we have to sit there deleting their comments. But I figured StubHub might be a way. I want to see people make money and me sell out. If you want to buy tickets and resell them, I am working on getting a StubHub account for people.
That should be interesting, man. And I think, is there any more leverage on people betting on some of these fights, or no? We ain't doing that.
So that was done. That was done through who are they? Fight to Win when they came here, Seth. I did that, I think, for one show, and then after that, I was talking to an attorney about it last week, and I was like, it's just not worth it. I mean, it's betting. Sports betting is still not legal here in Georgia. You can do it on your phone to Costa Rica or whatever. But for me, allowing that to happen and me actually posting the odds out there and stuff like that, I wasn't making any money off of it. So I just don't think it was a good look, and it was something I was advised not to do. So I think I did it once or twice. I hope sports betting becomes legal here in Georgia. I hope casinos open in Georgia. That's my long-term play. I've been doing this 21 years. I think if a casino opens in Georgia, I think that changes that. That'll line me up. Hopefully, that's kind of a long-term play. That's why I went to Dothan, Alabama 2 weeks ago. It was actually a casino in Dothan, Alabama, like a small, all they have is slot machines, but they're open right now in Dothan, hoping the law passes this year in Alabama where casinos become legal. And then it'll take them about 1.5 years to become a full-fledged blackjack, poker, everything else craps. So, I lost $8,000 last weekend. That's what it came to, an $8,000 loss. But I think we're going to do it again in May. It builds up, and hopefully we're still there in 1 year or two if this does become reality in Alabama. So that's kind of long-term plays I look at.
Long-term play, man. Definitely look forward to seeing how some of those laws will change. I'm sure that sways who you rocking with when it comes into the political realm. But in the short term, we got big fights coming up on Friday, January 20th. I did think today was a great show, man. Shout out to our guest, Jesse Wable, came on, our resident. I always say Jesse is our resident guest, and he always has to have that opening slot, that 7:15 slot. Shout out to Walter Flores. We had on Zach Cooper, David Baby Hulk Wilson, and our guy Addison Graves. Addison Graves, what a good guy, man. What a good guy. Definitely look forward to seeing everybody this Friday, January 20th at Monday Night Garage. Where is my daughter so we could send the show off? Hey, anybody in the NFC community, if you have any questions, man, drop them over there. We haven't been getting any more comments.
Yeah, we got people picking Trace, Walter. I think that's Sean Corning there. We got to have Sean sooner or later. We got to have Sean here in every show. And he'll be this Friday. I need to let him know what time to be there. Sean, we're doing the cage Thursday at 5:30. So let me know if you're coming to do the cage and if you have a buddy.
Hold up,
so Thursday at 5:30 doing the cage.
All right, hold up. You got to say bye to everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thank y'all for tuning in to NFC Now. We'll see you on Friday.